Hello friends. So I hope in the last video you have seen how to connect with SQL Server Management Studio and create your own database. And in last video we learned how to create our own database. We named our new database as consumer_db, and now we will start filling this database. Right now this database is empty. We can see what are the tables. We just see there are only system tables, but we do not have our own tables. So let's start filling our new database. But before we begin, let's logically understand what exactly database means. So for example, you have your own school bag in your childhood, and you have different copies, right? One for maths, one for English, or for different subjects. So to understand SQL, map your school bag with SQL. Your each subject copy will be your table. For example, we'll have a different table for math, then for mathematics, and then there will be another table for science. That is how you organize your things, right? And all these tables, all those subjects will be combined together under a one school bag, which is under one database that is called consumer database. So that is how you organize your things. I hope it makes sense. Okay, so with this we will proceed filling our tables. To do that, let's see what are some syntax which SQL understand. As SQL stands for Standard Query Language, so we'll have to use a certain, but like a particular defined language to talk to SQL engine, right? So here is first syntax, which is called create table syntax. If we want SQL engine to create a table for us, we will have to use this command. This is the syntax. So syntax means the defined formula which the system understands. When we will write this syntax, SQL itself will understand what we want to say, what we want to do, how we want, whether we want to create a table or we want to insert values, or what exactly action we want to do, right? So that is called syntax. And here is the syntax to create a table. Create table, this is the formula. Here we will write what could be the table name, and within a table we could write different type of columns, right? So that's what we want to. Before we create a table, let's make do some rough work. I will open, or maybe, okay, let me open an Excel sheet, because firstly we will have to see, we'll have to plan in our own head what exactly table we want to see or draw in SQL. I'm opening an Excel to do some rough work here. Blank workbook, close. Okay, it's opening for me. So now I want SQL to create me a table which should look like something. Here it will be consumer name. Okay, and it's always a good practice to use the names without spaces in them. So first column will be consumer name, next is consumer category, and then maybe, okay, let's keep the first one as consumer ID, right? So consumer ID, which will be unique to identify each consumer category, and then something like gender, and last would be the birth date. I think that's enough to begin. So these will be 5 columns, and that's how I want to see SQL to give me this table. Let's see how SQL work. Okay, so using this syntax, let me copy the syntax from here, Control C, and tell SQL to do this work. So how I opened this sheet was click on new query and you will see this sheet in front of you, Control V, and you can always check if you are connected to the right database. From here it should be consumer DB. You should be writing your queries into the right database. Okay, so that is about little about SQL Server Management Studio. This execute key, this will help us to execute the queries, and more we will see in another video about all the functionalities of different icons here. Okay, so create table name. What should be the name of the table? Okay, let me write only consumer. That will be my, I'm just filling in. So what will be my column name? Here my first column name is consumer ID, so I will write it here, same consumer ID. What will be name of my second column? That is consumer name. So instead of column 2 I will write consumer name. Okay, third column is consumer category. Oh, consumer. I'm just doing a simple thing, filling in this syntax. Okay, so the way we have all these columns, we can write as many we want. Going back, fourth one is gender, so I'll write gender, comma, each column name is separated by comma, and the last one is birth date. So you can see I will keep all the column names consistent by keeping the first letter alphabet. It gives a nice and clean organization of our table. So that is how I have filled in all the names. But still, now SQL want me to tell what is the data type of each column. When we say data type, it's asking me, okay, let's firstly go back. So here we see whether it's number, it's a date, it's time, percentage, what kind of data we want to enter in each column. So that is data type. We'll have to tell SQL what will be data type of my first column. Consumer ID is integer, right? So we'll tell it integer, or maybe number. I think it doesn't understand numbers, so let's call it integer. Name will be variable character, so I'll call it varchar. And what will be the length? 255 will work. This is the length of character. Okay, and consumer category. Okay, so we can write varchar 255 again, and gender again, it will be a variable character. Let's keep it very small length because I'll just need M and F, and birth date will be date. Okay, so with this our first query is here. Let's select this. That's how we have our query selected, and it ends by semicolon. And let's click on execute to see the results. Awesome. So here it says commands completed successfully, query executed successfully, right? Can we just go and refresh to see if our table is created? Okay, I'm just expanding these tables again. Awesome. Here we can see dbu.consumer, which is our first table. Right click on this Select top 1000 rows. Okay, since we have not entered any data, so it's not showing anything here, but it's showing that our table is created with different column names. So with this, we are done with our first syntax. Let's move to the second one. Now it's time to insert values into the table. So let's do again, go back to our rough sheet. Let's enter some values. Consumer ID. Let's keep 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. Consumer name, Sean, Ricky, Angela, Michelle. Okay, consumer category. So let's say we have two categories, category A, or we can say A category. We have two different kind of categories in our industry, let's assume. And then gender. First one is male, female, and female, and birth date of each. Let's keep it 1st of January, since this is rough data, so I'm just entering it to 1st of April of 1998. Okay, then 3rd of March of 2000 and 2nd of April of 1996. So this is my rough data which I have prepared. This is my rough work. Now I want to go back to my SQL and I want, okay, so when we selected the view from here to see top 1000 rows, it actually opened a new worksheet in front of us. To show this, we can close this. I don't need it anymore. Okay, I'm back here. I will write another query. So the first one was create. Now I want to insert. To insert, there is a formula or syntax in simple words. Insert into is the name of formula. Here will be the name of table. What will be the column names and the values. So let's copy this syntax. We'll see. Go back to the worksheet. Through V. Okay, so there is a trick. You can always use two green this hyphen buttons here. This will help us to create comments. So comments is SQL will not execute whatever is written after these two hyphens. It will treat this as a rough work, or these comments we always just use to make notes for ourselves to help us understand what is happening, right? So in case in the first one, the query here, I can make a note for myself to get a reference. What exactly is this? In this I wrote create table query. So this is of no use to SQL engine. SQL engine will not process whatever is written after this. Okay, so below this I will write my query using this note. So I will type in insert into and then table name. So in which table I want to insert? I want to insert my values into table consumer. I'm just copying and pasting this whole syntax. Instead of table name, I wrote the name of table, then is column 1. So my column is here. I can just copy the name of the column from top. So we bracket is okay, and then comma, name of second column. We can see here it's asking me name of another column, so I will write name of second column, comma, Control C, name of third column, comma, Control C, Control V, and the last column is birth date. I copied it here, and then it says use the keyword values, so I'll write values, and then I can bring these to the next line, otherwise it's getting longer. Okay, so what is my first value for consumer ID? It's 1001. To enter care values, we use single quotes, comma, value 2. Value 2 for consumer name is John. So value 2 is for column 2, which is consumer name. So I'll write for each varchar I will use, see here, we took this as varchars, right? So that's why I'm using quotes. John, consumer category we have it as A, gender is male, and birth date is 1/1/1992. Again, I will write it as 1/1992. Close the brackets or parentheses and use semicolon, because semicolon marks as end of the query. Select this portion of the query. If you do not see any error, let's say I forget to write something, I missed this, it automatically brings up the error, which helps me identify there is something wrong. Invalid object name consumer, I need to complete this, which is R. So once the whole screen is clear, there is no error, it means I'm good to proceed. Click execute. Awesome, one row affected. So let's again go to consumer on the left hand side. Under consumer database, under tables, let's click on our table, select top 1000 rows to see whether, oh yes, our data is inserted. We can see the first row, right? So in similar fashion, we will copy this, Control C, insert other rows. In second row we have 1002 Ricky, and the category is A, May 1/4/1998. 8, and Control C. I'll write same thing for all the columns. Then is Angela and Michelle. So this is 3, this is 4, this is Angela, Michelle, B, category will be B, and these are female. So what we are doing is we are writing the queries, we are inserting data into the table. 3/3/2000, okay, 3/3/2000, and the last one is 2/4/1996, 2/4/1996. Okay, so the first one is already inserted. Now I want all these 3 queries to run. I can select all of them together, execute, and we can see the result is executed thrice for each query. Now what we have to do is go back to the table, go to this table, click and right click on this, select top 1000 rows. Awesome, can you see this? Now all the data is inserted, and the good thing is in SQL whatever we write, it gets written permanently. We need not to commit here, unlike Oracle. In Oracle, in older days, We always have to commit the commands to save them permanently, but here we need not to do any such thing. So that's how our queries are written. Okay, I'll close this because I don't need these anymore. I just wanted to see the results. Going back, so we are done with second, insert values. Coming to the third one, select. Okay, although SQL Engine or Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio allows us to simply click here and select, but instead, if I just want to see the results just simply by writing query, can I do that? Yes. Simply write select star. Star means all. From table name consumer. Consumer underscore DB is name of database, but consumer is name of our table within the database. So I'm just writing to see whatever is there in this table. So select star from query, execute. This query is to see all the results, everything. If I just want to see top 2 rows, can I do that? Yes. Top star. So if I write only top 2 rows, can I see? Yeah, I can see only top 2 rows. If I want to see everything, can I see that? Select star. Yeah, so that's how to read. So that is all about select. Select whatever columns you want to see from table. Okay, so if I just want to see consumer ID and gender, can I do that? Yes. Whatever column name you want to see, just type in consumer ID. I can see it in the help here, comma, consumer name. I just want to see only 3 columns. Not everything. Here we can see all 5, but I just want to see only 3. Name those columns and you. Okay, awesome. So let's move to the next section, which is update. Okay, so let's say by mistake we have entered the birth date of Angela wrong. Let's say it was not 2000, it was 2001. Oh, in Excel it's so simple, right? But it's more simpler in SQL. How can we update? Okay, let's see what we have for birth date in Angela. Okay, click this, select star from consumer. We see Angela's birth date is 2000, but we have to update this. To update this, go back here, sorry, copy the syntax. Just copy the syntax I use. Since these are my notes, I'll use comments. Update table name. Okay, so I will write update. Update what? Update consumer table name. Okay, what I have to change? Set. I have to set birth date. Set birth date. What to set? In birth date, I want value as 3 instead of 2000. It has to be 2001 here. Do I need to change anything? No, rest everything is fine. But in case if I want to change category, let's say I have to make it from B to A, then I can use comma, consumer category. Also update this to A. Okay, but if I just write this, it will update everything. It will go and update all the birth dates to this, and it will update consumer category as A for everyone. But I just want it only for Angela, so I will tell SQL, don't do it for everyone, just do it where consumer ID equals to 1003. What happens if I do not mention this thing? It will go and update all the consumer categories, all the birth dates. So whenever you are using update query, be very careful, because your where command, this where clause, this has to be very specific. This is always a major mistake in industries where SQL administrators, they forget to specify where clause. Okay, so now my query is very clear that find out the ID 1003 and update birth date as well as consumer category only for this one. So let's select it, execute. Awesome, it has updated. Whether it has updated, let's check. So how will we go and check? No, this time we have learned SQL, so we won't use this right click. We will write query to see. Which query? That will be select start from consumer. I want to see the data for consumer table. Can you see this? Here the consumer category is updated to A and the birth date is updated to 2001. So we have also updated here as A. Superb. Let's move to the last section, which is delete. Okay. So let's say that there is a record for Ricky, this one, and we don't want this record anymore. Due to some reason, this Ricky consumer has been deleted from the record, or this consumer has no more the connection with the organization. In Excel, we just do it here and delete. But how to do that in SQL? In SQL, we will go using this syntax, delete from. Okay, let me copy this syntax, Control C, go back here. Okay, now I want, okay, how do we write the syntax? We use, okay, this is a cheat sheet, right? Using this cheat sheet, we will simply copy the command delete from, table name will be consumer. Okay, now SQL is wondering delete from consumer. So SQL can go and delete everything. But what exactly to delete? We want where consumer ID is, where consumer ID equals to, okay, so it's not case sensitive. We can use capital I instead of small I. Consumer ID is 1002. If we write this, it will go and delete this. Or we can say where consumer name is Ricky. So whatever is specific to that row, we can write. Can we use delete from consumer where consumer category equals to A? No, because if we write that, we have 3 records where consumer category is A, and it will go and delete all 3 of these. But we just want to remove the second one. So we will specify where consumer ID is 1002. So let's see what happens. Delete, execute, one row affected. We have our select query already written. I'll just go and select. See, the second record is removed. Can we get that back? Yep, we can get that back. Let's see, instead of Ricky, now we have someone else. Let's say Joey. Okay, so we have a new member, 1002, and Joey with category as B, gender male, and 1998. Okay, let's go back to N2. Category is Joy category is B. Joy, and so let's now we just have 3. Let's insert this back because I'm missing that 10021. Okay, let's execute. Again, select. See, we have got new record for 1002. Superb. Today we executed almost 10 queries. That's wonderful, and we have completed our practical session for GROOT: create, read, update, and delete. We learned today how to create a table, how to insert values, how to read those, update, as well as delete. Thank you so much for watching. Let's continue writing our queries in the next session.